MSW Media.
News with swearing. Daily beans, daily beans. Daily beans, daily beans.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Beans for Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Today, an ICE agent has been arrested for pulling a gun on a teenager in Southern California. A judge has issued a scathing ruling, laying bare Linsdey Halligan's misconduct in the Comey case. Emil Bove told top Justice Department officials to just sink boats in the Caribbean. An ex-Justice Department prosecutor has been elected to serve as a Seattle city attorney. An appeals court has upheld the conviction of the men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery. Thousands have registered for free childcare in New Mexico, and Trump says House Republicans should vote yes to release the Epstein Files. I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg.
Hey, Dana. All right, Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We're chugging along through the week.
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. That's what we've got right now.
That's all I can say about today.
Oh my God.
Although I did wake up to some incredible stuff. People were pinging me. My phone was blowing up because of this scathing ruling by Judge Fitzpatrick in the Comey case. And I am dying. I'm dying. It's so funny to me. And, you know, I find funniness in very weird places. But what's so hilarious to me is that Jim Comey asked for the grand jury materials so that he could see what Linsdey Halligan said to the grand jury. And the, Department of Justice was like, no, that grand jury stuff is secret. But Judge Fitzpatrick, a magistrate judge, said, no, Comey can see the grand jury stuff. And then the Department of Justice was like, but that's not fair. The judge didn't say why. And the judge went, oh, all right, and cracked his knuckles and said, here's why. You're full of shit. And wrote this 22-page thing. She got the law wrong when she talked to the grand jury. She told the grand jury that the burden of proof in a criminal case is actually on the defendant, on Jim Comey. It's up to him to prove he's innocent. So she thinks it's guilty until proven innocent, which is like a basic tenet of the Constitution. She also called them out for not getting a search warrant properly, like their evidence that the whole case is based on, they didn't get a search warrant for. So it's really, really bad. And that 139 minutes is missing. She only presented the case once.
Wow.
There's the judge listed 11 catastrophic things wrong with what Linsdey Halligan did with this case. And it's not good. But the only reason we know about it is because the DOJ was like, you have to explain why. And he's like, all right, here you go. You really want everybody to know how stupid you are?
How useless
here it is.
you are? You asked for it. Here we go.
So I recorded a whole interview with Adam Klasfeld. It's too long to drop here into the beans, but you can go and watch it. It's only 25 minutes or so, but you can go and watch it over on my Substack for free. And you can get there by going to MullerSheWrote.com. I was dying. I was like, she did this to herself. The incompetence is, again, stunning, but not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, thanks to, 400,000 of you came out to watch the breakdown again over on Midas Touch this weekend.
You're killing it.
Y'all are awesome. There's a link in the show notes if you want to go see it. I wish the Comey stuff had come out. The Comey stuff comes out a day after I make that show. But I guessed most of it, so you can watch me guess on that link to that show. But thank you all so much for supporting our video podcast. And speaking of video podcasts, we've got a Daily Beans daily video podcast that's in the works right now, being beta tested with our patrons. And it's going to come out to the public on December 1st over at the MSW Media channel on YouTube. So please feel free to check that out. It's going to be free for everybody starting December 1st. And if you want to become a patron and give us your feedback and lend us your ideas for how to make this show and help us build it from the ground up, you can do that at patreon.com/thedailybeans. And we really appreciate all of our patrons helping support us. And I am deep in the midst of planning our next gala. I'm looking at the end of June of next year. we'll see what we can come up with. This one's going to be super fun, and that's going to be for patrons as well. So again, patreon.com/thedailybeans. We have a lot to get to today, so let's hit the hot notes.
Hot notes.
All right, first up from NPR. At a Justice Department conference this past February, a month after Trump was sworn in, then acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove, who now sits on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, told the Justice Department's top drug prosecutors that the Trump administration wasn't interested in interdicting suspected drug vessels at sea anymore. Instead, he said, the U.S. should just sink the boats. That's according to three people present.
God.
Yeah. Now, at the time of Bove's comments, Trump had only been back in office for a month. The White House had made clear that combating drug cartels and transnational criminal gangs was a priority. But few could envision that 6 months later, the United States would be blowing up suspected drug boats in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean. Since the first deadly attack on what the government says is a narco-trafficking vessel off the Venezuelan coast September 2nd, the U.S. has conducted some 20 strikes in international waters, killing more than 75 people. The administration says the boats were carrying drugs and posed a direct threat to the United States, but it has not provided any public evidence to support those assertions. Bove's remarks, which have not been previously reported, suggest at least some members of the administration were considering this policy shift as early as 6 months before the boat strikes began. Now, NPR spoke about the Trump administration's policies with 9 current, former, and U.S. officials who work to combat transnational crime. They describe a dramatic policy shift, I'll say, from interdicting suspected drug boats, like stopping them, boarding them, arresting them, seizing the drugs, detaining and often prosecuting the crew, as the U.S. has done for decades. They've gone from that to blasting them out of the water and killing everyone on board. All of the individuals spoke to NPR in a condition of anonymity for fear of retribution. They questioned the legality of the deadly strikes. Many referred to them as murder and expressed doubts. These are policy, current and former U.S. officials. And they expressed doubts that the new policy would be more effective at stemming the flow of illicit drugs into the United States. Several of them said it may ultimately prove counterproductive. Speaking via video teleconference, Bove expressed skepticism at this thing back in February about maritime interdictions and the value of prosecuting low-level drug runners caught at sea. Quote, that's when he said that we're not going to worry so much about interdictions, we're just going to sink boats. That's what one of the attendees told NPR. Quote, I looked around at others in the room when he said that, and jaws literally dropped. The way people interpreted that was not, we're going to interdict and process folks in the boats. People took that as, we're just going to blow up the boats with the people in them.
Unbelievable.
Just murder. It's murder.
It is. I'm telling you, these war crimes, and someone else had said it, they're going to be trials one day. There will absolutely be trials one day. This one's from CBS. At midnight on New Year's Day, the first moment of 2026, life is going to change for attorney Erica Evans for the first time in 9 months. Evans will begin her term as the elected city attorney of Seattle on January 1st. Her campaign was a juggernaut. She won with nearly 2/3 of the vote on November 4th, but her campaign was also unexpected. Evans quit her position as attorney in the U.S. Department of Justice in March, even though she had once considered that position a dream job. Amid a broader purge inside the agency, she opted to run for public office rather than go into private legal practice or academia. Evans rolled to a primary victory in August and secured a larger margin of victory in this month's general election. As Seattle City Attorney, Evans will represent the city in litigation and civil cases. She's also going to handle some prosecutions of lower-level criminal offenses. Evans said the Trump administration's dismantling of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division was among her motivations for leaving her post at the federal prosecutor's office in the Western District of Washington this year, where she was handling civil rights matters, hate crime cases, and violent crime cases. She said that soon after Trump took office, the Justice Department leadership sent emails, and I quote, requiring that we report all colleagues doing diversity work in the office. We had 10 to 14 days to report them, or we would get in trouble ourselves. That was pretty disgusting. She said she didn't feel safe at the agency, in part because she was the co-chair of a diversity effort. Soon after her departure in March, Evans launched her campaign for the Seattle City Attorney's position and parlayed her frustration with the Trump administration into a component of her campaign message. In the campaign video, Evans pledged to challenge Donald. She said, with your vote, I'll take on Trump and demand the community safety we deserve. And man, she won in a landslide.
And that's amazing. I was listening to you report that when she said that she worked there for 9 years. It was her dream job. I know that. I know that feeling well. I worked for 11 years at the VA, and that when they asked me when I interviewed for that final position that I had when I left, they said, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I said, "Doing this job. This is my dream job."
Yeah.
And they just snatched it right out from under me. And so, when they turned the Civil Rights Division, they turned away from civil rights for the marginalized to protecting the civil rights of white people. And, she was like, peace, I'm out. I'm going to go run for city attorney in Seattle. And she crushed it. Well done. I'm so excited for that. All right, next up, Donald Trump has switched sides in the Epstein Files debate.
I don't buy this. Is not fucking. I got waterfront property in Arizona. I want to sell you.
Yeah. The headline should read, "Area man on losing team wants to join winning team." That's what it should say. From NBC, Trump on Sunday called on House Republicans to support the release of files related to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, dramatically changing course on a flashpoint issue he has long opposed. House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. It's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party. That's what he put on Truth Social. Last week, Trump had called the efforts to release the files a hoax, saying Democrats were bringing it up to deflect how badly they've done in the shutdown. So you opened an investigation into a hoax? Okay. Also, I just want to say something to you, Donald Trump. To say the Congress should vote on it, the Senate should vote on it. He confirmed in an interview in the Oval Office today on Monday that he would sign such a bill. You can just release those files without any of that.
Yep.
Donald Trump.
Yep. We're going to talk more about this.
Yeah, you have the ability to release those files.
And I think we were onto something. We were talking about this whole thing about him saying we need to reopen the investigation, of him being like, we'll release them. And then Pam Bondi is going to fall on the sword and say, oh, I can't release them. They're under investigation.
And Trump will say, I tried, but the Department of Justice wouldn't let me do it.
That's exactly it. They
do all the other stuff I say that's totally illegal, but not this legal thing. They won't let me. I can't make them do legal things. Like, it's just...
I'm going to give some people some good news because of all that garbage. This one's from the Associated Press. You are welcome, my friend. The federal appeals court on Friday upheld the hate crime convictions of 3 white men who chased Ahmaud Arbery through their Georgia subdivision with that pickup trucks before one of them killed the running black man with a shotgun. That was a very strange written sentence from the Associated Press, but we know he was out jogging. He was out
more like the disassociated press. Am I right?
Hey, she'll be here all week. Tip your wait staff. A 3-judge panel on the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. It took well over a year, by the way, to rule after attorneys for the defendants urged the judges in March of 2024 to overturn the case, arguing the men's history of racist text messages and social media posts failed to prove they targeted Arbery because of his race. What a fucked up sentence. All those racist tweets and Facebook messages I did had nothing to do with the fact that I happened to kill a black man.
Yeah.
Federal prosecutors used those posts and messages in 2022 to persuade a jury that Arbery's killing was motivated by pent-up racial anger. The appellate panel's opinion, written by Judge Elizabeth L. Branch, said prosecutors at the trial showed, and I quote, that each of the defendants held long-standing prejudice, and that evidence was sufficient for a reasonable juror to find that Arbery's race was the determinative factor for the deadly neighborhood chase.
Good for the 11th Circuit. This is a very conservative circuit, by the way.
I know. Even if the appeals judges, by the way, had thrown out their hate crime convictions, the trio still faced no immediate reprieve from prison. That's because they're also serving life sentences for murder after being convicted in a Georgia state court.
So 11th Circuit could have thrown this out and not have to worry about...
saved face if they wanted to. Yeah, not worry about backlash.
But they did not. They said, no, those text messages, these racist mofos, there's enough proof that they're super racist to uphold this conviction.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And better news from KTLA. Not better news than that, but better news than the underlying story that I'm about to give you. This is from KTLA. A 45-year-old Riverside County man who reportedly works as a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent has been arrested. He's accused of illegally detaining a minor at gunpoint while off duty last week. The November 10th incident, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, played out around 10:30 p.m. outside a home at the 32,000 block of Daybrook Terrace in Temecula. That's right up the block. Lawyer Greg Kirakosian, who represented the boy and his family, told KTLA the 17-year-old was driving home after dropping a friend off down the street when he saw the suspect, identified by investigators as Gerardo Rodriguez, pointing a gun at his vehicle and demanding he pull over. Quote, in the moment, I think he was just scared for his life. He had a gun pulled on him, and he was told to immediately stop or else. That's what the lawyer said. Then that same person came up to his driver's side door, pulled him out at gunpoint.
Jesus.
In footage of the incident obtained by KTLA, the 45-year-old is seen pulling a gun from his waistband as he walked up the street, pointing it at the teenager's truck, demanding he stop the vehicle, and reportedly brandishing his badge. Freeze, police. Put the car in fucking park. Get out of the car. Turn it off. Get out. You're speeding in this fucking neighborhood. Come over here. Sit down. Get your ass down. You got a driver's license? Now, the teenager's parents, who'd been alerted by a friend as to what was happening, prompted them to rush from their home to get their son's passport and bring it to the scene, fearing the incident could be some type of immigrant enforcement operation. And they called 911 after they arrived. The incident comes after several others where federal law enforcement agents have pulled firearms on citizens. So he's been arrested, and I've seen his mugshot, and I think I posted on Blue Sky, dear ICE agents, you don't get to wear masks in your mugshot pictures.
Yeah. Good. More good news. More good news. This comes from my hometown of Albuquerque. This is KRQE. In Albuquerque, 2 weeks into a new program that gives New Mexico children free childcare, officials are opening up about the surge that happened day one and how it's been moving forward. In just a short time, the state said thousands of children are now enrolled in free childcare, and daycares are lining up to join. The State Department expects the momentum to continue. Just 2 months ago, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced New Mexico would be the first state in the country to offer free childcare to all families. Day one, November 1, we had nearly 1,000 applications, and that was a Saturday. That's from Elizabeth Groginski. She's the Cabinet Secretary for Early Childhood Education Department. Before the launch, the state supported 33,000 children. Now another 5,000 kids are enrolled. Secretary Groginski said that surge has continued with about another 100 applications coming in daily. She said many of the families, probably about 45% of them, were already eligible under the 400% of federal poverty. Jesus. And we see this as another testament to why universal is so important. Those numbers are wild. To keep up, the department hired 14 temp workers to process applications and support new providers. The increased interest isn't just from families, by the way. The state's also seeing a rise in people wanting to open new childcare facilities. She said, we've had 113 applications for people who want to open home-based businesses. So that's getting us very close, to those goals that we set ahead of schedule. I'll just say, sidebar, I hope to God there is a background check. I just don't trust everybody.
I'm sure
EDC said that they are reviewing more than 150 applications for the state's low-interest loan fund aimed at helping providers expand or build new facilities. In order to fund the next year of child care assistance, the state's requesting $120 million from the legislature in January.
I love this. Free childcare, free assistance to people who want to open childcare, thousands of applicants. That governor there in New Mexico is something else.
I think she's doing a hell of a job.
That's incredible, and I hope some other states follow suit. I would like to see this happen in all 50, although at least all the blue ones. Please. I don't know that the Republican governors are going to want to spend money taking care of children after they're born. Anyway, thank you so much for that. That's some really great news. Everybody, we've got some good trouble.
What are you guys doing?
So you remember a couple weeks back, I had Cliff Cash on, the comedian.
He's brilliant.
He's so amazing. I have the biggest crush on this guy. He's funny. He cares. Every single comedy show he does is a food drive. So everybody brings in
That's
a
amazing.
non-perishable
What a
item
great
that
idea.
that he gives to food banks. And so he's doing this incredible event this weekend in the DC area, right? Him and a group called Flare, Flare. Jessica Denson, who's been on this show, is part of it. And they're going to go lobby Congress, have some peaceful protests. They're doing a bunch of stuff down there. Harry Dunn's going to be there as well to speak. There's going to be some veterans organizations that are going to be there to speak. The Dropkick Murphys are playing.
Amazing.
Yeah, truly incredible. So if you're in the area, those events are all happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Head down there and participate. They want to get as many people down there as they can to make as much noise as they can to Congress about what's going on in the country. So make sure you get out there if you have a chance to. All right, everybody, we have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with the good news. Stick around. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, I want to tell you about my favorite subscription service. Now, I don't drink these days, but I take hosting very seriously. And when guests arrive, I want the experience to feel considered, not improvised at a wine shop, just grabbing bottles because the label looks cool. And Naked Wines makes all that possible. I select bottles from independent winemakers from around the world, set a few aside for gifts, and let the conversations flow. Friends appreciate the curation, and I can focus on the menu and the music and the timing instead of second-guessing wine selections. Naked Wines is a service that directly connects you to the world's finest independent winemakers, so you can get award-winning wine delivered straight to your door. So let's thank Naked Wines for supporting our show. Go to nakedwines.com/dailybeans and use code DAILYBEANS for the code and the password, and you'll get their incredible deal of 6 bottles for just $39.99. I was recently able to share a bottle of Mitchell Masati Sonoma Rosé. I love a good rosé. My guests love this. It was a 2021 year, and I'm definitely ordering more for the holidays. Everybody loved it. It smelled fruity and crisp. Refreshing raspberry, peach notes. My friends noticed this immediately. They were stunned. It wasn't from an expensive boutique shop. It was from Naked Wines. I love Naked Wines because it champions independent winemakers and makes curation easy, and it cuts out the corporate middleman. Go away, middleman. I rate every bottle too, so each shipment becomes a better fit, which makes hosting more relaxed and easy instead of a guessing game and a pain in the butt, and you open a bottle and it's not great. That never happens with Naked Wines. They're all amazing. So now's the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/dailybeans, click enter voucher, and put in my code DAILYBEANS for the code and the password, and you'll get 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off your first 6 bottles. nakedwines.com/dailybeans. Use the code and password DAILYBEANS for 6 bottles of wine for $39.99. You'll be glad you did. Everybody, welcome back. It's time for the good news.
Likes good news, everyone. Then good news, everyone.
Good news. And if you have any good news or good trouble suggestions, or if you have pronunciation corrections or any correction, really, if we get something wrong, let us know. If you have a shout out to a loved one, a spouse, a child, a parent, a self shout out to a government program that's helped you or a loved one, we really want to get those on the record. Shout out to a small business in your area that could use a boost, or a great nonprofit or a food bank. Maybe some events, some activism events are going on in your area you want to draw people's attention to. Please let us know. You can send it all to us at dailybeanspod.com and click on contact. And all you got to do to get your submission read on the air is pay your pod pet tariff, which means really, it just attach a photo of anything. it really doesn't matter. But we like photos of your pet. We like to try to guess what breeds are in your shelter pup or your cat or your turtle or your horse or your cow. Send those to us. If you don't have a pet, send an adoptable pet in your area. We have a really good track record of matching adoptable pets with homes. If you don't have that, grab a random animal photo off the internet, or send us your family photos, baby pictures of what you're making and creating to pass the time during this administration. I remember when this first started, I was like, everybody just pick up a hobby and get really good at it over the next 4 years. I'd love to see pictures of where you're at with that, whether you're knitting or crocheting or painting or writing or playing music or planting a garden. Would love to see that. And any photos of your happy places. Maybe you've got a favorite joke you want to send us. Whatever it is, send it to us. dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. First up, the large chair with the message that was missing from yesterday's show. Ah, there it is. It's got 3 crayons, red, white, and blue, with a greater than sign. Red, white, and blue is greater than orange.
So good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sending that picture in. I was like, what is the picture? Show it to me.
Right, this is from Tanya, no pronouns given. Hi, my family and I have committed to not adding one dime to the wealth or the already filthy rich this holiday season. Instead, we intend to support regular people, just trying to get by like we all are. And we'll be shopping places like Etsy, Poshmark, eBay, consignment shops, craft fairs, local bakeries, gift certificates for local people offering services like house cleaning, oil changes, hairdressers, etc. We've agreed. And gifts of locally produced food, used items are all acceptable. Haven't come up with a perfect solution to avoid buying wrapping paper just yet, but we are working on it. I hate to have everything under the tree covered in newspaper. For my pod pet tariff or my pod pet tax, this is Tilly. It's not her name. It's her Twitter alias. She's a super paranoid about doxing. Thanks, ladies, for all you do.
Oh my God.
That's a cute blip,
this
Tilly.
baby. I wonder what kind of dog this is. Adorable. Maltese? Maybe Maltipoo? Oh, just
Maltipoo
cute.
looks like a Bichon
So
Frise.
cute. Yeah. Bichon Frise.
Bichon Frise.
So very adorable. Thank you so much for that. What a great idea, And I always try to shop local, and I have been pretty, 100% of the time since since at least Amazon started being a big giant dick. But this is so great. Wrapping paper solutions. Do you have any? Well, I remember.
I know.
This is where my old 1970s brain goes. Well, why don't you get some of those paper bags from the grocery store that's in your cabinet?
No,
I'm
I've
too old
thought the
for
same thing.
words.
I'm like, if you already shop at a place like Trader Joe's or something like that, and you have saved them, I know you don't want to spend any at the big names, even though Trader Joe's is probably the best of them. Maybe you have some old bags that we used to wrap our books in.
I was going to say, remember when we had to cover our textbooks the week before school?
And I have an idea. If you have kids, you don't have to tell them why. You can cut the bags, turn them over, have them decorate the bags, like color on them. Don't tell them what they're for, and then you can wrap their presents in them, and then every one of them will be different.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe you could go to a local restaurant that puts butcher paper on their tables and just say, hey, can I buy some of your butcher paper? And then you're supporting that business. And
That's
not
a great idea. Ooh, that's a good one. That's my favorite.
Amazon. All right. Next up from Dr. Mom. Pronoun she and her. They call me Dr. Mom. Hello, ladies and beans. I couldn't help myself. This word popped up on a puzzle I was playing the same time you were talking about the Chicago skyline this morning. And here's the accepted salute. Trump. That's a great birdwatching photo, Dr. Mom. Thank you. And from Sherry, pronoun she and her. Hi, AG and DG. I'm really enjoying your Beans Talk videos. I've been avoiding video versions because I like to listen while I'm driving and doing housework, but I couldn't resist trying yours. Now I'm hooked. Y'all really keep me sane. I put the exasperation in there. Sherry might not be exasperated. I've written to you before about the blue wave bitches, the BWBs. Oh, yeah. Well, we lost our first member to cancer this week, and 2 more are in memory care. Many have moved out of the state. I was afraid that would be the end of us. But I started going to the weekly Stand Up for Social Security protests here in a small town in Texas. We've been getting about 25 to 30 people every week, and I've met some wonderful new friends. We're always so excited to get enthusiastic honks. The good news is that I started a new BWB group. We go to lunch every week after the protest and have so much fun. We old ladies even figured out how to create a group me group to carry out our conversations at home. Some of the remaining gals from the old group have joined us as well. I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks. I thought I was done with all this and ready to retire, but no. Well, once again, I have to say I'm grateful to the Orange Man for bringing new friends into my life. For Pod Pet Tariff, I'm sending you some photos of us at the protest. I'm the one in the taco outfit. I had a little trouble with the hat. Oh my God, look.
This is fantastic.
Chicken taco. I get it. Protest is patriotic. Look at this. High five, y'all. Sherry,
So
that's
good.
amazing.
All right. This is from Chris, pronouns he and he. New Orleans. I know. I'm just so used to putting them in tandem. Chris is pronouns he. Hi, Beans. My good news is that my wife came home safe. She's a Vietnamese national and green card holder. She went home to attend her mom's funeral. While she was flying home, I had a panic attack worrying she would be arrested in the airport. She wasn't. It was completely fucked up that we are forced to even worry about that. Here's a photo of our dog Moose. We adopted him as a rescue. No idea of his lineage. We call him Scooby-Doo. We love your show. Keep up the faith.
He looks like Scooby-Doo.
He really does.
This dog looks like Scooby. That's the breed. It's the Scooby-Doo dog.
That's right.
Oh, adorable. Chris, I'm so glad. I'm so glad she got home safe. I worry about that too. I've got friends who are Canadian and friends that come in from, Europe. And I'm always just like, if they leave to go visit, I'm like, I hope you get back okay. It's ridiculous that we have to worry about that. Look at this from Denise, pronouns she and her. Hi, Beans Queens. I'd like to shout out Dana for an amazing show in Chicago. I had the pleasure of going to both shows and laughed just as hard at each show. Since it was a beautiful day in Chicago, I was able to do some bird watching. Attached are my pod tags. First picture is Dana putting her best foot forward. Second picture is the result of my bird watching in the city center. As luck would have it, I captured the home of the dodo bird.
The home of the dodo bird is Trump Tower in Chicago, which is fucking hilarious. My dear friend Denise, yeah, she drove in. I think she drove in from Florida, which is crazy. But yeah, it was nice to have her there. She's a phenomenal fan of the pod. She's actually the friend of mine. Do you remember when Aaron posted about the trans Girl Scouts where we could go buy one? Denise bought 50 boxes and made them and made people read all about the trans Girl Scouts before they were able to have a box for free when she was giving them away. She's an extraordinary human being.
Amazing. Denise, thank you so much for that.
Yeah. All right. This one's from Anonymous, pronouns she and her. After the election, I stopped watching the news, any news. I asked my husband not to share anything that was happening because I knew it was bad, and I thought having my head in the sand was a better alternative to risking a further decline of my mental health. In February, I heard my husband watching John Oliver in the living room, and I decided to join him. I thought some levity might make the news a little more palatable. It did not. I walked in as a clip of the Fanta-fascist was talking to President Zelensky in the Oval Office. Ugh, I remember that. I watched maybe 30 seconds and started bawling uncontrollably. Then I proceeded to run to the bathroom and was sick. Never in my life have I been so disgusted by someone that it actually made me sick. I relayed this story to my eldest son, and he mentioned your show. I never listened to podcasts before. I was reluctant, but the following morning, I tuned in, and I have since been a daily listener to your show. This makes me want to tear up a little bit.
I know.
The news is still awful, but your delivery of it has made all the difference in my ability to handle it. I'm no longer in the dark, and I've been inspired to act. My voice matters, and I cannot sit on the sidelines watching this country go down in flames. Thank you for all you do to keep us informed and keep us sane during the shit show. I've attached a picture of me at the last No Kings rally, being surrounded by people who stand up for what is right and good in this world. And it's given me hope. We can make a difference. We can show people that dissent doesn't mean resorting to violence. We can show people a better way. Love is stronger than hate. Keep up the good fight. These are great. Little poster says, eat the rich. And Anonymous, I really love this submission, and it warms my heart that Allison and I can create a safe space for people to actually get back engaged with politics and our democracy in ways whatever works for you. That means we're doing something right with this podcast, and I really love that.
Yeah, that was the whole reason we started this in the first place. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm okay. I'm all right. Our final submission here is just from Anonymous, pronouns she, her. Good morning, Beans ladies. I love your show. I'm a daily listener. My good news comes to you from the Central Oregon coast. Our county was the next target for an ICE detention center by a Texas company. Enough of us spoke out against this, including the Newport City Council. That's the city where it would be located. The company has now withdrawn its interest in the 4.4-acre lot near our regional airport. We have a large Hispanic population on the coast, and we're very protective of our neighbors. We have to celebrate these small triumphs. That's a big triumph, I think. The picture below is my girlfriends and I out protesting last week. I'm the bee. The other photo is my precious toothless Chloe. She was a street dog found in Los Angeles. We got her in her first year. 12 years later, she's my service dog and I'm her service mom. Oh, look at this baby.
Oh,
Hi, Chloe.
that blip. And that tongue just hanging out the side.
Blem. All right, look at this. Ice is not cool. Great bee costume. We've got 3 inflatables here. A ducky, a bee, and an oxalotl. Honk to no ice. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Everybody, that's why we do this good news segment. My spirits are lifted. I'm ready for Wednesday. I'm ready for the taint of the week. I really appreciate you.
Sorry, you joyfully saying I'm ready for the taint of the week was, I think, a little too much for me today.
When I was reading the Comey stuff today, the judge confirmed that the FBI agent, the only person who testified in Halligan's grand jury presentation, saw a bunch of privileged communication and told the Office of General Counsel, hey, I've seen privileged information, but they drug him in and made him testify anyway.
Oh my God.
And I called him it just came out of my mouth. I called him a walking taint bomb. And Adam Klasfeld was like, whoa. Let's back up for a second. Anyway, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And I look forward to the good news tomorrow. It's like my favorite thing these days. Do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here today, Dana?
Not today, my friend.
All right, everybody. We will be back in your ears tomorrow. Until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and take care of your family. I've been AG.
I've been DG.
And them's the beans.
The Daily Beans is written and executive produced by Allison Gill with additional research and reporting by Dana Goldberg. Sound design and editing is by Desiree McFarlane, with art and web design by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios. Music for The Daily Beans is written and performed by They Might Be Giants, and the show is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, please visit mswmedia.com.
MSW Media.